2 years ago, this team announced their game on this very stage. Now they're back with the first gameplay reveal. When I saw this, I could not believe it was actual gameplay, but it is, captured by the team in-game this past weekend. Sit back and get ready to experience a new level of cinematic immersion.
And she said, with our sword.
When I first saw this, no shit, when I first saw this logo popped up, my brain went, I know these guys, right? These aren't the guys that made, these guys, they didn't make that one game with, they didn't make Ghost of Tsushima, they made something else. And then it hit me. I remember where they're from. I remember exactly where they're from. This is the company that unfortunately broke my fucking heart to pieces. When everything was kicking in at first, I was like, that's right. I got honestly a little bit excited, but then I remembered that's not what this is about. This has nothing to do with Bleeding Edge. They would not announce that they're going to continue working on Bleeding Edge at the Game Awards. They're not going to be like, alright, we're going to bring back Bleeding Edge at the Game Awards. That would not, because there would be a lot more going on, and Microsoft would have to get back involved again. And Microsoft is just not going to let it happen. But from what I understand, Senua's Blade Part 1, as well as from what I know, Part 2 will be amazing. An amazing game. Like, I know Part 2, based on what this trailer is, I know Part 2 will be an amazing game. But, you know, with that being said, alright, the reason why I wanted to do this video is because if you're a fan of my channel, you're probably a fan of Bleeding Edge. But if you're a fan of Bleeding Edge, you're probably not a fan of Ninja Theory. You're probably not. You're probably not a fan of Ninja Theory at all. And so that's the reason why I actually wanted to do this video, because I wanted to look back in on what is Ninja Theory doing right now. Granted, I know they're working on this, but there was another project that they're working on, and that was actually a game by the name of Project Mara. If I'm correct, Project Mara isn't going to be like a horror game by any means. If I'm correct, Project Mara is going to be a, how can I describe it? A mental experience based on the way that it's actually been projected by Ninja Theory themselves. In fact, I should actually show a little bit about what Project Mara is probably going to be. Now, granted, if I will say one thing about Ninja Theory, is that Ninja Theory is very good with their visuals, and I will never not say that about that. Bleeding Edge is honestly the first game that I know about them, but from what I understand previously from what they do, they're very good at adding visuals. They are very well known for that. Okay, and with that, there's not a lot to actually go off of, right? Not too much, and to be honest, this site is kind of pretty bare bones. It's just it's just a video, it's just a site with a video, which I'm not gonna lie, is somewhat disappointing, but I have more information to actually go off of that. So if we go over to Xbox, but let's scroll down just a little bit further. So this was an article that was written maybe last year when I first heard about Project Mara, but the article reads, "Today we are announcing Project Mara, our new in-development experimental title that explores new ways of storytelling, and we're excited to share the first details with you. Project Mara will be a real-world and grounded representation of mental terror based on real-lived experience accounts and in-depth research. Our aim is to recreate the horrors of the mind as accurately and realistically as possible. Project Mara will be an experimental title and a showcase of what could become a new storytelling medium. Since joining Xbox Studios in 2018, we're going to completely skip over that entire paragraph. You can follow the development of journey of our all-new project, Senwa Saga, the Insight Project Mara on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But speaking of which, there was another... The Insight Project actually led me to here. And I'm actually hoping that this video for the Insight Project is a little bit more information towards this, but again, nothing. That is almost as disappointing. Okay, I found it.
The Insight Project is a rare example of artists, scientists, and mental health experts coming together to tackle one of the most pressing challenges of our time, mental suffering.
We're asking a question. Could we combine the best of game design and technology with cutting-edge clinical neuroscience and psychiatry to help with mental suffering and to promote mental well-being?
Gaming the mind to master mental health.
The Insight Project is Ninja Theory's bold ambition to use technology, game design, and clinical neuroscience to develop new therapies for mental disorders. I'm excited and proud for Ninja Theory to take their passion to the next level with the Insight Project.
My name is Tamim Antoniadis. I'm the Chief Creative Ninja and co-founder at Ninja Theory, a Cambridge-based games company. For the
I don't see anything bleeding that's related. You guys got Game Awards, sure, but come on, man.
I directed Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Could I get a demon mask or something?
He wasn't an artist, but a scientist. And he opened my eyes to a whole new reality.
My name is Paul Fletcher. I'm the Bernard Wolfe Professor of Health Neuroscience at the University of Cambridge. I'm also medically qualified, practicing as a psychiatrist, and I've been interested in studying and helping to treat mental illness for a long time. I was approached by the Ninja Theory team some time ago when they were asking for advice on representing mental illness within a video game.
In this waking nightmare,
I had a friend who had suffered a mental breakdown, and I realized that I knew nothing about the subject. And the more I read about it, the more I just wanted to know, what does it feel like? So that question turned into an idea, a concept. What if we could step into the shoes of someone who has severe psychotic mental illness and see, hear, and understand the world through their eyes?
By engaging with the science through Wellcome Trust and the University of Cambridge, and by collaborating and co-producing with people whose lives have been blighted by mental illness and suffering, the Ninja Theory team produced a really remarkable depiction and genuinely conveyed a sense of the experience and the impact of psychosis.
Players with mental health difficulties in particular responded with praise. Many saw it as a tool for expressing their suffering to their loved ones.
Ninja Theory showed the value of these collaborations, bringing a level of authenticity and empathy to a challenging subject. And we're really looking forward to finding how we can work with them again.
Paul and I were variously invited to talk about our work at the Houses of Parliament, Kensington Palace, and several science conferences. And it was at these events that people often approached us afterwards saying that we must keep going and build on what has been achieved.
We kept returning to this profound insight that what Hellblade had achieved was to make the invisible visible. What if we could go further and give people the ability to see, engage with, and perhaps even overcome their fears and anxieties? This became the Insight Project.
I really hope that this project really helps us to understand how to deal with anxiety, how we can measure, understand, take control as human beings, not just over our mental and physical health, but over the digital world more generally.
But why do we think games could help? Well, over the last decade, the games industry has been in an arms race, developing real-time technologies such as virtual avatars, natural human-computer interfaces, data analytic tools, online technologies that are at levels of sophistication that are grossly underestimated by the wider world. And all of these tools were created to engage a captive mass audience, train them in new skills and promote mastery of games. And this is a toolset that we think could equally be applied to mental well-being.
We recognise that there's a powerful and widespread movement in science and psychiatry based on acknowledging that the brain and the body are truly intimately related and must be considered as a functioning unit. But game technology gives us a missing piece. It gives us control of the person's environment. This is enormously powerful.
In-house, we are creating some of the most advanced interactive characters and realistic environments ever seen, and we're going to use the best of our skills and technology to create a compelling and rich experience that appeals to anyone and everyone.
We're currently in the early stages of prototyping, testing how one can interpret and use biometric data to create and control simulations linked to mind and body. Alongside this, we propose to conduct formal experiments to verify the results systematically and to make them widely available through established scientific channels. This seems to me to be a new kind of clinical science. It's one that recognises the need to throw off certain constraints of the laboratory and to harness the creative skills of game makers.
The beauty of cross-sector collaborations is that they almost always stimulate fresh thinking and unexpected ideas, often with benefits to both sides.
And the BAFTA for Artistic Achievement goes to... I just think it's an awesome kind of team and collaboration, and I am just so happy that they've really been serious about continuing with that journey.
My hope is that the team at Ninja Theory uses the Insight Project to attract other pioneers in the mental health field, and that they collaborate on new approaches to developing treatments for mental disorder. The Insight Project is a great example of the power of games to be a force for good.
Over the next few months and years, we will be sharing our approach, publishing our findings, and growing our team. The project will grow in complexity as we tackle harder and harder problems for which solutions may not yet exist. However, we do believe that by focusing our efforts on what we can do now and collaborating with those who can offer different or complementary solutions, we can kickstart a movement, one based on sound principles, and help each other to find ways of improving the quality of life for a lot of people.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. With that being said, that was a lot better. That was a lot better than what I thought was gonna actually happen. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of changed my opinion about what Project Mara actually might be. But I have a little bit to actually read here. And again, today we are proud to announce the Insight Project, an innovative R&D project at Ninja Theory that we have grand ambitions for. In 2017, Ninja Theory released Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on PlayStation and PC platforms, and then later to the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and VR. I actually did not know it was in VR. I actually did not know. It was headed by Tamim Antianatis, co-founder and creative director at Ninja Theory under the guidance of Paul Fletcher. I think that's one of the guys that we just saw. Psychiatrist and professor of health neurosciences at the University of Cambridge. The game received universal acclaim for its depiction of a warrior with severe mental issues and was described by Welcome as the best representation of psychosis in any media. It went on to win widespread acclaim, including 5 BAFTAs, 3 The Game Awards, and a Royal College of Psychiatrics Award. Subsequent to its release, Tamim and Paul have continued discussions on how games can go beyond representing mental illness and distress, and how they play a role in promoting mental well-being. These discussions have resulted in the Insight Project, an ambitious combination of technology, game design, and clinical neuroscience brought together with the aim of generating strategies to alleviate mental distress. The Insight Project will take shape over several years, but is being announced early to encourage an open and transparent approach to its development. It is an exploratory, but experimentally guided project that aims to deliver a mainstream solution to help treat mental suffering and encourage mental well-being. As you can see, guys, I just start reading and then for some reason just can't continue to read. We plan a program of gaming, technological, and scientific development that will lead to self-contained, individualized, and absorbing game experiences within which people can become an expert at recognizing, responding to, and ultimately controlling their own fear, anxiety, and other negative subjective experience. The work will be underpinned by rigorous scientific principles to ensure its effectiveness and validity, and it will adhere to strict standards of ethics and data management. This approach will be widely and conveniently applicable, flexible to the needs of the individual, critically enjoyable, and absorbing in ways that will ensure enthusiastic engagement, leading to marked and sustainable change. Our goal is to create and inspire a movement and help mental health treatment go mainstream. We hope you will join us on this exciting journey. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. Because of the fact that I haven't played Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and I'm just gonna load it up real quick. Why are you showing your Xbox? That's not what I want. Because of the fact that Senua's Saga is such a good game, and I mean, like, because this game is such a good game, I'm not gonna lie, it's put my faith on what Project Mara is gonna be, and it also kind of restores my faith for what Ninja Theory actually has. Because let's be real, the situation between Ninja Theory and these guys up here, Microsoft, as far as Bleeding Edge, that probably wasn't Ninja Theory's fault. And I bet you guys can tell if you look at the stuff that Ninja Theory does. Ninja Theory, when they have, I get this thing about them that when they have an idea, they 1000% go all in on that idea. And if that idea for some reason just does not bring back any type of, money for their parent company being Microsoft, it might have just been Microsoft's decision to really cut that. And because of that, that may be the reason why, how can I say this? That may be the reason why Ninja Theory sent out a tweet and Microsoft did not send out a tweet regarding that. Ninja Theory decided to do that, or well, the Bleeding Edge section of Ninja Theory decided to put out that tweet, and it wasn't anything dealing with Microsoft. So, I mean, maybe they were just trying to be nice about it, but then again, the way that it happened so abruptly is the reason why everyone has been looking at Ninja Theory in that way. And to be honest, I should do more research about what Ninja Theory actually does. To be fairly honest, Senua's Sacrifice is, again, probably one of the best games out there, period. And the fact that it's made by Ninja Theory, let's be honest, with every game you make, you're going to drop every game you make isn't going to be great. You're going to drop a couple projects off. Unfortunately, that project had to be Bleeding Edge. But again, when you really look at what Senua's Sacrifice is and Hellblade and all that, it's an amazing game. It has an amazing concept, and it's done by an amazing team. So in all honesty, I'm gonna say, because I know Ninja Theory's potential, I'm gonna forgive him for everything that happened with Bleeding Edge. Because let's be honest, I don't have any other choice. Unless they decide to revive Bleeding Edge because they have some free time on their hands, which I highly doubt. Unless they can just suddenly bring back Bleeding Edge, I don't think it should be too much for me to actually like hate them or anything. To be honest, with Senua's Blade 2 being as good of a game as I know it will be, even though I haven't played the first one, I honestly think that Project Mara is gonna be a very well received game. And it's with my hope that it is a well received game, because to be honest, you still don't understand anything about what it's going to be, It's going to be a game about mental health, but how far are they going to go into it? And to be honest, I think it's going to be a VR game. If it is a VR game, even better, to be honest, because mental immersion, to give you that type of immersion, would be amazing. But regardless of which, again, guys, I just wanted to give a little update on Project Mara as well as Ninja Theory in a whole. And granted, Like I said, part 2 to this game is going to be coming out, but I wanted to focus on the reason why they kind of cut Bleeding Edge a little bit short and kind of stopped its production was more than likely Project Mara. More than likely it was because they would like to focus on this game. And yeah, with that being said, Ninja Theory, I forgive you guys. If you're focused on a real topic and you unfortunately had to drop a game that wasn't your fault, I forgive you guys. It's not a whole lot of skin off of my back regardless. But regardless of which, if you guys know me, and I always say this, if you guys know me, I thank you for coming around, and I thank you for being a fan of Bleeding Edge as I am. If you don't know me, my name is Chaos the Gamer, and yeah, GG's. I really hope this game is good.